Hey, it's Korinn, 365 Days of Open Heart Living. Today is day 93, your hibernating parts. So what I mean by your hibernating parts is that we have aspects of ourself that hibernate. We have parts of ourself that kind of submerge for periods of time and then re-emerge at different periods. And I think it's very natural, life changes, new things come into our life that demand a different level of attention or a different mindset or a different type of energy. And so some of the things that we maybe had going on in our life can kind of go on the back burner, can submerge. Things that were natural parts of ourselves, even things that we enjoyed doing, personal interests, they can kind of submerge and go into hibernation. And it's not that we stop having the ability to do those things or we stop having the inner heart to want to bring that back up into our life. It's just that the tide has changed. And very much so, sometimes hibernation, like for a bear, can be a natural cycle where maybe our creative spark just needs to pull within and be quiet and just take a break, be coated over by the winter of the quiet inner self, having light and fuel and that fire of creativity, and letting things just take place above the ground of your life and be where you are and do what is at hand and just live. But those hibernating parts that have submerged, as the cycle goes, they can come back up. They can reawaken within you. So those tasks that you used to do, those interests that you used to have, that creativity that used to flow so freely from you, it can reawaken and become a focal point in your life again. And sometimes we have to just trust that the time will come when the time is right for that hibernating part of yourself to reemerge. And sometimes we have to kind of force the hand a little bit and reawaken it within ourselves, especially if it's something we're pining away for, that we're missing. Like we miss that we used to do this and go here all the time, and that creativity, that personal interest that we had that just fueled our inner flame, we miss that. When it's something that you're yearning for, then maybe it's something you need to reawaken for yourself. And so it can either be a chance or a choice. We can leave it up to chance, that in trusting the natural cycle, that there's that good chance that it's gonna come back up when the time is right. Or we can leave it to choice and take action and choosing for ourselves that that is something I need more of in my life, and I'm going to create time for it, space, and put energy into bringing it up from beneath the surface where it was covered over, kept cozy and warm, just ready to be stoked up again and give light and fire to your life. A part of you that is in hibernation, I want you to just pause and ask yourself right now, what is something that has been in hibernation within me? And listen for your inner reply. Did you get an answer? Did it come really fast? So that is, it's interesting, right? Isn't it interesting that we can have this inner dialogue and then there's insight that just bloop comes right up within you because you have an inner voice and an inner compass that you can connect into in your knowingness. And when you quiet yourself and you just simply ask a question and you get a response, like, that's your inner knowingness speaking to you and moving through you. So whatever came up for you, I want you to note that for yourself. And being inspired to lead this meditation today and help you identify what has been hibernating within you, your hibernating parts, what is something potentially you need to stoke and reawaken, or just having that awareness of like, do I leave this to chance or do I leave this to choice? There's nothing wrong with leaving it to chance. Absolutely. Like, we have to trust, go with the flow if that's where we are, you know. Sometimes that's the inner direction, is just to leave it to chance. Like, it's not quite the right time. You'll feel it, or it'll just come up naturally. But the inspiration that brought me to reflecting on this parts of ourself that hibernate is that since the passing of my husband, shortly after, like within the first 4 months, I gave up my career as a healing practitioner, and I couldn't. I could not therapeutically be able to, I could not functionally be therapeutically effective for my clients. And so I had to stop, and I couldn't take on like new clients either because I was in my own emotional turmoil, and I had to give that its due respect and space to process for myself, so pieces didn't get shoved down, and disassociation didn't happen. Like, I needed to just deal with myself. But it's been 4.5 years, and I have dabbled here and there with doing energy work still, and it comes very natural for me. I love it. It fuels me. It excites me. I just love just being the conduit for somebody else to come into their own empowerment and to have their flow open up so that their emotional, physical, mental pains can lighten and lessen and lift. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And recently I connected with a friend. She popped into my head one day. I reached out to her and we were chatting, and she runs a practice as an acuenergetics practitioner. And I had mentioned that I wanted to start working on Fridays to bring in some extra income for my family. And she was like, would you ever consider doing acu again? And I was like, I think I would, yeah. And then just like the ball started rolling, and I'm gonna start seeing clients again, which is exciting. So it's this part of me that had been in hibernation for good reason, right? Like, I didn't have a choice. Like, I had to put it down. But I'm ready. That cycle has passed. And now that spark within me, I can feel it. And it feels stronger this time. It feels more focused. And I'm curious and excited to see what will come forward, and getting the chance to work with people one-on-one again. Writing is another thing in my life that has had periods of hibernation. And that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes we have these skills and talents and interests that build, and they build and they build and they build, and then we put them down. And then time goes on, and it comes out of hibernation, and we get back into it. But also there are natural parts of ourselves that just flow freely, that can go into hibernation in cycles. So less about things that we've learned and more about just your natural kind of inclination. Whatever it is that's speaking to you in your heart and in your mind right now, your natural inclination, something that just comes so simple, comes so simply to you, and just feels like you. It feels like a part of you, a sincere part of you that is natural and that has times in your life been something that has been turned on in its flow, and at other times it has been turned off in it stopping to flow. And it's never that it's not a natural part of you, it's that it's in hibernation. You haven't lost it. Feel it. Feel it in your heart and in your soul. That part of you that is not lost. It is merely in hibernation. I love when I tap in and it just, the questions you have before you even have them sometimes get answered. So it's the voice. The part of you sometimes that is hibernating is your voice. Your ability to express yourself, your ability to be creatively constructive with your voice, your view, your vision, your hands, the way that you see the world is yours. And through your view of the world, there's something within you that is a gift for you to give in your expression. And your voice is one of those outlets. So even just start using your voice and speaking about that natural part of yourself that has been in hibernation, or write it down. Let it become a thought in the back of your mind. And just again, question. Do I leave this to chance? Does that feel right? Or do I leave it to choice and nudge myself a little bit and re-emerging that hibernating part? So writing has been a very natural part of myself. I remember being in elementary school and turning things into the teacher and getting little comments written back, and just like my writing was something that had been viewed as having some talent. And then further on as a teenager, again, having people reflect back to me of liking, enjoying what I creatively constructed and was able to share. And writing poems used to be something that just flowed so stinking naturally. Like, yeah, the words would just like bloop. And sometimes I wouldn't even understand what the meaning was going to be until it was done, and then I'd read it, and then it would make sense, and it would be a reflection of myself to myself through my written words of poetry. Yeah, writing. But there have been many, many times through my life that writing has fallen away, and I have not done it at all for years. And then it'll sneak back up within me, and I'll have inspiration, and it will be that it had been left up to chance of when or if it was going to come back up. And it did. And it flowed when I left it to chance then. And now I'm actually in a space where I need to make it a choice, because I have this book that I really want to write. I am writing it. It's really already written. I just need to edit it like a shit ton, and get it out there. The fifth relationship. My first book, The 4 Relationships, is already available. So Google it if you're interested in seeing what that's about. But I do believe that there is something within you that has been hibernating, something very natural. And you have had thoughts about this just in this moment with me. And now we're going to meditate. And close your eyes. Feel your breath. Relax. 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 Feel your breath. Feel your body. Feel your heart. Allowing that feeling in your heart of openness that is open heart living to expand through you. To expand so far through you from the depths of your heart that it expands out around you as well. So that you are sitting in the energy that is yours, your heart energy. And so you can feel your open-heartedness all through you and around you. Now I want you to look within your heart. Look with your spiritual eyes, move them into your heart center, and look to see what that hibernating part of yourself is doing. You can visualize it like a bear, like you're checking in on that hibernating bear within you, in your heart. What is it doing? what vision comes to you of your hibernating bear? That part of yourself that has been slumbering, that has been conserving energy for a period of time. Does it feel deep and relaxed, like it's still recharging and regaining energy? Does it feel like it's just nodding off into slumber? Like you're just entering that period of hibernating? Or does it feel like it's starting to awaken? Slowly coming back into conscious awareness, ready to open its eyes and stretch and come alive. What is your inner heart showing you that the state of your hibernating part is at? Watch it now. Where is it showing you that your hibernating part is at? And connect with it now. That hibernating part of yourself. Be in alignment with where it is naturally at for yourself. Just starting to slumber in a deep, restful slumber, conserving energy, or just starting to awaken. Be in alignment and feel that hibernating part of yourself, and know that this is giving you insight into if you leave it to chance or if you leave it to choice. And trust yourself always. I invite you to open your eyes, and I invite you to live your heart.